Hello guys, welcome to my channel. I am Samantha the Introvert. Today I want to give you my personal review on episode 11 of Playboy the series. I already did my reviews on episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Links are in the description below, so without further ado, let's get into it. We start the episode off with the news about Mr. Lee, who is the adopted father for Porch. Then we get to know that Mr. Lee is not just a good guy in the public's eye, but he is a gangster, and Ob here knows. And for some reason, the guy kneeling did something bad, and Mr. Lee unalives him. Ob here is Mr. Lee's right-hand man and lover. But Mr. Lee grew tired of Ob's pleasures. He even got his men to beat Ob up. Ob had it rough. Prom is Mr. Lee's son. Now, I'm not sure if Prom is really his son or Playboy's son because Mr. Lee said that he treats everyone in Playboy as a son or a lover. But anyways, Porch came in the picture as Mr. Lee's new lover, taking over Ob's spot. Of course, Prom seems to have a jealous problem with that, but held it in. Then we're back to when all the hell broke loose. When everyone heard Porch's voice in the voice recording, revealing all of Mr. Lee's bad deeds, and of course we hear Jump's voice as well, and Mr. Lee is not happy. Then Porch saw the used-to-be journalist and ran and followed, but journalist was too fast. After chasing journalist and lost him, Porch friends came to hear directly from Porch if what they heard true, but Porch is too ashamed and left. While First is helping ZOEY with his artwork, ZOEY can't stop thinking about the knowledge he learned about Mr. Lee. Then we see Soong came along trying to look for both Jump and Porch because Mr. Lee is coming for them. Just as Soong was talking about them, Jump and Porch shows up and Soong warns them to leave before Mr. Lee sees them. I mean, things got serious, but the boy doesn't know that fully yet. And of course, Mr. Lee making up excuses as to why he needs to see Jump and Porch. Then Mr. Lee sees ZOEY and told him he wants to meet ZOEY in his office to talk about ZOEY's art. Then we see journalist guy here went to Facebook Live and talk about Mr. Lee. But then Mr. Lee went on live and made an AI voice recording to frame journalists of pushing out fake news about him. And because of that, people started making hate comments to the journalist about his leaked video and why he got fired, and saying because of his leaked video, he wants to spread false rumors about Mr. Lee. After he ends the live, Jump texted. Basically, they wanted to bribe him, and Porch offers to pay journalists $3 million to stay quiet and for getting him fired. Then Nant shows up, and looking at journalist's face, journalists seem to know Nant. Okay, let's not forget Keen, who is forced to leave the team and the university for video of him. Captain said he has nothing to do with Keen leaving and the video because he deleted every video of Keen, but for some reason someone gained access at the video before it was deleted. Captain started crying, then kissing Keen, saying he loves Keen and regrets posting the videos. Anyways, Nant says he wants all the knowledge journalist has on Mr. Lee because Nant says he thinks Mr. Lee has everything to do with his brother being unalived. Journalist gave info, but to me it seems a little info, but it is enough to Nant. Then we see Ob helping Pune showering because the doctor told Pune to not get his injury wet. So we get to know that Pune and Ob made up, and Ob went to the hospital with Pune for what First did. Ob then told Pune not to accept any request from a client if he knows it's like this no matter the money. And also, for now, not to accept any clients while he's recovering. And also, Pune said it's a good thing he never reported to the police or else their boss will get in trouble. Then the mood got freaky real quick, but don't worry, we just using ants to relieve our sticks. What I don't understand is the doctor said to not get his wounds wet, but he's sitting in water. Make that make sense. Now we see Ob is talking to Song about First. I think Ob wants to know more about First and his family, but Song is telling Ob how First's father threatened Song to leave First. Then we see Nant sitting alone. Then we see Prom bringing music and notes to apologize to Nant. Basically, Prom is acting out that movie. With some trials and errors, Prom got through to Nant. Even gave a confession and kiss and everything. Now, because ZOEY have a meeting with Mr. Lee in his office, he brought along First and Captain, and they came up with a plan to be on a three-way call with the earpods and listen in on the conversation just to be on the safe side. But First got a little distraction, and Captain had his horny self found a distraction, so ZOEY's on his own for this one. And the whole time, ZOEY had to hold his ears to hide the earpods. Anyways, Mr. Lee, who thinks nothing of this, starts to sexually make moves on ZOEY but got a call. Prom called, and of course ZOEY had to leave. And me still wondering if that is the new Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra. Anyways, Prom called to tell Mr. Lee that a client is complaining about a Playboy, and Mr. Lee got upset, saying he made Prom a manager for a reason and to not make every problem and call him about it. As a manager, Prom should know how to manage a problem. And while outside, ZOEY heard everything because he left his phone in his bag inside Mr. Lee's office. Outside, Sung is telling First all that First's father did and why he had to leave First. But then asks First to stop complaining about a Playboy, but First said he hurt him, but then agrees only if Sung comes back to First in the relationship. Then everyone meet up and they all discover that Mr. Lee owns Playboy. Prom told Nant, that's why Nant knows, and the rest knows through the phone left in Mr. Lee's office. Then we see Porchen jump on eating, and while they're eating, they decided to get to know each other more. They even did the Lady and the Tramp with the noodles. Then we see Keen in the locker room packing out his stuff along with Captain. Then they got freaky real quick because they feel like to do some role playing. Then we see Nant, Captain, First and ZOEY went to the Playboy. And everyone is a little bit busy, but because of the mission it has to cut fast. Especially Captain, he was mostly upset he has to cut his meal short. So their job is to get inside Mr. Lee's office and get some evidence on him, but they ran into a problem. Ob and Pune sees them, and Ob went to fight First because of what he did to Pune, and Captain went to fight Pune because of he thinks Pune is the reason for Keen's being kicked out. ZOEY tries to beg Hob to stop punching First, but apparently the fight is not just about hurting Pune, but it also Ob says First got both Pune and Ob fired. Then Prom came to stop them and to remind them of their mission because Mr. Lee is on his way and they don't got a lot of time. Even though ZOEY tries to clear things up, Captain still says Pune had sex with Keen, but Captain refused to hear Pune's side of the story. Captain reveals that he knows of the sex by reading Pune's phone texts with Keen. Pune seems to not know password. That's when they found out Captain was the one who planned to hurt Pune and First decided to be a good friend to help. Okay guys, that is the end of my review on episode 11 of Playboyy the series. Stay tuned for my review on episode 12. And as always, if you like my review, give them a thumbs up, subscribe, hit notification bell so you never miss any of my videos, and I'll see you next time.